Now, before I go any further, everything I'm about to teach you that you can do in the office, I have to start with you've got to make sure you're HIPAA compliant. You got to make sure that you're being good about, patient information. And this is not just for you to know. I would highly suggest if you're a doctor or office manager, you actually have a meeting with your team sooner than later to sit down and talk about how you're going to use AI in the practice and your rules around it because there are a lot of people giving advice in these Facebook groups, these office manager groups who are like, have AI write your narratives or have AI help you, fight a claim and copy and paste everything in ChatGPT and it'll write the narrative for you. You've got to make sure that your team members are understanding that you don't want to put any patient information in there. You need to make sure that we're not putting anything in there that you wouldn't want on the internet. Same with us as like owners or doctors. You don't want to put anything about don't put your bank accounts into AI. Don't put your credit card information into AI. Don't put anything in AI that you wouldn't want out on the internet. So be very, very conscious of that and talk to your team members about it because every one of your team members probably are dabbling with AI a little bit on their own. And if we don't put some parameters around it, you could have problems in the future. So make sure that this is something you talk about now. I also suggest that we really, as a team, you almost sit down now and say, hey, AI is new. It's new to all of us. And so as a culture, we want to embrace AI. We want to talk about how we can be more efficient. And we need to really kind of define how are we going to use AI in the practice and how do we instruct AI to work for us in our practice, right? I was just on a podcast interview the other day and we were talking about culture. And he asked me, can AI keep the culture of the practice? Can AI run based off culture? And that's again where I would say, no, we need human in the loop. We can define what our culture is for our practice or our business. We can give it guidelines, but the humans still have to manage the culture. The culture comes from the human side of things, right? And here's an example. So I battle with Gemini every single day, trying to get it to stop ending my emails with best regards. I've never said best regards. I don't even know what that is. And it sounds weird and I don't like it. And I go in and I try to change it and say, I want you to say thanks or see you soon or whatever. And then the next thing it was like warmly, Laura. And I'm like, I don't say warmly. So this is where you don't want to set it and forget it. You want to define what you want. Is your culture to be professional? Is it to be casual? You want to define it, but then you've got to keep the humans managing it because you don't want to just set it and forget it. I was speaking recently at an event and one of the office managers said that they have AI answering the phone for their office. And I said, can I talk to your receptionist? Because at Mango, we have an AI receptionist and I wanted to compare how they did. And I called her office. And when I was talking to their AI, to the company they were using, the AI started quoting me fees over the phone. And so when we hung up, I hung up with the AI. I asked her, I said, do you want AI quoting fees? That's like, it was kind of weird how AI gave me all this fees information. And she said, no, I had no idea it was doing that. And I said, when was the last time you called AI? And she goes, well, we set it up like 3 months ago and I haven't really tested it again. Well, AI had kind of gone off the guardrails. Like she had never told it to give fees and something changed in the algorithm somewhere. And now her AI is quoting fees. So this is where we have to be really careful of like, we still need to manage this so that it's not just, I wouldn't set it and forget it, right? I wouldn't just turn on AI companies and go, okay, it's running that part of the practice because it's our job to manage the culture, the information that's going in and going out from our practice.